Howdy, this is Real Mark, fake outsider bunker system artist in the... And I almost got that out right the first time. One of these days I'll get that out right. Today, and these thoughts started to ferment in my brain, and if you let them go too long, it kind of, you know, expands my fat melon head bigger than it already is. The drinking challenge. Apparently, I'm just not. I can't drink enough to. I shouldn't even, you know, I shouldn't even have thrown that one out there. Oh man. So in fact, I'm almost out. This is almost gone, and I'm just going to keep it around here for a special occasion. And just go back to coffee. And because some bad stuff happened, that's the thing. And what happened? Well, I'm swear to God, after I got done drinking my shots of vodka the other night, I went upstairs to let the dog outside, and the lock wouldn't open, and it wouldn't turn. Well, I'd already broken the key off of it, and I'd flipped it around. I've had the lock out, and I've replaced another one, which I couldn't find the key for. Probably was drinking and reading the Bible then too, so but it wouldn't turn. So that was the end of it. I couldn't let I had to take the dogs out on the leash out the front door. And then, if that wasn't enough, I've got a resonator guitar I wanted to restring because the strings is in really bad shape. So I had one packet of strings, and they're Martin SPs, and there are three. Unlike most strings that I deal with, and I've used these strings before, so it's my fault, but you know, each string comes in an individual sleeve. Well, in this case, Martin puts them like 3 sleeves and 2 strings in each pack. Well, you know, I don't look at it. I just pull what's on top. I pull that out, and I figure it's like the E string, you know, high and low E string. Like in my head, my logic, that they should be together, right? Well, no. It was the high E string and the 4th string, the D string. And I'm putting that on where the E string's supposed to be. And I'm like, oh, well, this string doesn't appear to be as thick. Well, that's because it wasn't as thick as the E string needed to be. I'm like, oh, well, maybe. I couldn't remember. Maybe these are just lighter strings. I'll just deal with it. So, of course, you know, I get to the packet that has the real E string in it, and I can't take the D string because I clipped it. It's too effing short, right? So I get out, I've got some extra strings, and I put another string on. Well, it's like, instead of a 35 millimeter, it's a 40, and it feels, I thought, well, it's a little bit thicker, you know, and it is thicker, but I can feel that it's thicker, so it's like throws, you know, because, well, so I think, like, the wrong guitar string in a lock is the first step on my path to hell. And, you know, I warned myself, and I wouldn't listen to myself, so I'm going to just keep this just in case for one of those days where I want to take another step closer to hell, and I'll pull that out. Now, last night on the news, there's this new thing out. Sony patented this technology. Okay, here, remember the mood ring? You know, you would put a ring on and it would turn like different colors, which never seemed to work. I don't know. I never had one. But you all remember that. It's supposed to, like, the chemicals in your body or the heat, it sensed heat or something, and it would tell you what mood you're in, like you would know. So so Sony's coming out with this, has this technology patented whereby there's software in a cell phone, it can be, I guess if they had made a prototype or whatever, that will, it's like some kind of facial recognition software, and it knows whether you're happy, sad, glad, or mad. So everybody's going to, like, how you doing? Remember, you walk up to somebody in the morning and say, how you doing? And that person says, great, couldn't be better. And you know, lying, but now you'll be able to prove it. Look, you're lying. Let me do that again. You go up to somebody in the morning and say, hey, brother, how you doing? And they say, great, couldn't be better. And you know they're lying. And you hold the cell phone up and say, you're lying. You are a lying sack of lion sack. There. That's better. I gotta find other ways to express myself other than using 4-letter words. Now, 70s movies. I did this, added to the pile of Blood Freak with my own review. And Burton Charles is going to do something. He's got the movie, and he mentioned 70s movies. Well, I was thinking about the other day. You know, I'm a child of the 70s, graduated high school in 1975, so I'm sort of like my wonder years were spent in the 70s. Like all of green refrigerators and vinyl recliners and just banality. There was not, I couldn't see any redeeming quality, but as I thought, every, decade kind of takes, in retrospect, takes on its own unique flavor. And I think it's the same thing with 70s movies. And they all had this sort of wonderful banality to them. So he's right about that. The 70s is not something to be scorned anymore. So, okay, now you're looking at what I do here and you're saying, wow, how can he be so original? How can he come up with this stuff? And I'm always saying, it's all been done before, right? And I was thinking about this guy the other day, and I grew up in Mount Vernon, Ohio, and we had a cable. We were like a test city for cable. Okay, so in the early '70s, we were getting cable television from Cleveland, Channel 61, and they had, and if anybody my age have grown up in a time when there were local TV hosts, like movie hosts, and every large city had one or two, and so did Cleveland. So one of the shows was the Ghoul show.
Follow the Ghoul to the Ghoul school over there! I am back! I have returned! A television legend, once again, has returned to his rightful place on the television dial!
And so I would stay up and watch it, and he would have like a cheap horror science fiction movie on, which of course I loved, and I didn't know they were cheap. I just knew that they were fun. Now this was '82, and there's this whole history of his show, and I was watching it in the early '70s and stopped when I got in college. And I think the PTA came down on him, some like civics group or local organizations, because he was bad. And so there you go. We all come from someplace, and I think he's still like doing. He's spent his whole life doing this sort of thing. So there's another example that I should have studied harder in college. Then there's the polka music. Ghoul always played polka music. Dance, sexy hula girl, dance. There's the polka music, and there was Froggy.
It's right, Frog!
And he had this thing. He had this little character. Froggy was a plastic frog, and I remember that Froggy was kidnapped, and Ghoul would get letters from Froggy, hiya, 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 Froggy, and he would get these letters, and the letters would always be about Froggy being so in this process of being kidnapped. Well, what it turned out is that Froggy just kidnapped himself because he wanted more attention from the Ghoul.
Time! Here! All right, Frog! There you go, guy!
What a knee slapper. Anyway, I can remember he married his wife, Queenie, on the show, and he would sign off by saying, "Scratch glass and do it while you can, but don't get caught." Of course, it was prefaced by telling all the children, the young children, that he was going to go hit the bars on the way before he got home to Queenie. Anyway, and then Chef Goulardi, of course, where the last ingredients in this pile of peanut butter and flour and milk and raw eggs was Cheese Whiz, and then he would put a big glob of this crap in his mouth.
There, sorry, fella, don't mean to get personal. You want to smear it around with something. So what better way to smear that little Cheese Whiz? Hey! Okay.
Before I go on a secret mission, going on a secret mission tomorrow, more polka music. Maybe he went downhill after he got married, and he's probably divorced now. I'm sure, Queenie turned out to be, not, what. It doesn't matter who you are, you're just burdened by life, and what the hell. I actually have some work I gotta do today. Before I go on a secret mission, going on a secret mission tomorrow, more polka music.